Hi everybody, welcome to Blazing Limbs. Today we're here to talk about this Roman Candle Podocarpus. This is a variegated form of Podocarpus. It is an evergreen. Its growth pattern is basically it grows like an upright 10 to 15 foot tall by 3 to 4 foot wide. Its hardiness zones are 7B to 10B. So it kind of likes more of those warmer climates. Nothing below 0 degrees. It might not survive that. I've been told that it does say that it can handle full sun to part shade, but it does prefer a good bit of shade. I've been told by more experienced gardeners that it does prefer some shade. So what we're going to do here is where we're going to plant it is in our front bed here. They're coming through with some power line poles, and they're putting a pole right here in front of our house. So we don't want to see that when we look out the window. So we're going to plant this right between the window and the pole here, right in front of the pole. So when we look out there, we'll see this guy instead of that pole. As it grows, it'll grow taller and cover the power line pole that we're putting right here. And it's kind of gutted the tree up above it, so that I know it's going to get enough sun. So when we plant this, we're normally planting in clay soil. So what's going to happen is when you plant in clay soil, you have to amend it. You can't just plant directly in clay. You're also going to need to mound it up. But when you amend it, you're going to want to use cotton burr. That's the best I've found in order to amend clay soil. In the north, I know farther up north they'll use pine bark, but when you're in cotton country, you use cotton burr. It is 100% cotton burr. It's not. It's no manure in that compost. Manure in clay will cause it to retain too much water, and none of your plants, almost no plants like water on their roots long term. It'll cause root rot, and it'll kill the plant from the bottom up. So we're going to amend this soil with some cotton burr compost, and we're also going to add a little bit of root starting fertilizer. It's by Biotone with it has their formula in it, formulated to create a much more denser, stronger root system very quickly. Let's see. And I guess I'm going to kind of walk y'all through the process of how we plant and amend this. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is just get the plant out, get it out of the way, and then we got to get this mulch out of the way. Normally, like, you could use a rake, but we have drip line irrigation run through here, and I don't want to knock a hole in it and have to redo that. It's not hard to get mulch out the way. So I put some gloves on. You don't have to use gloves if you don't want to, but I find it to be easier. Should do something wrong. I just kind of scratch it back, and then just peel it all back, and get down to your baseline soil. This is triple shredded mulch that we put here. We put around our house. I like triple shred for a few different reasons. One, because triple shred when it comes together, it really forms a mat and locks in. And as you can see, we're on a slope. Our front yard's on a slope. And in order for it to stay, I need the mulch to really lock together during the rain, and to get out of so that way it doesn't wash down the hill. When you're living in a suburban lot, a lot of times you'll get different soil types when you're digging, just because over the development of the neighborhood, people bring in different soils to the property to like in times of washout and things like that. So that's why you find different soils on your small little lots versus some big acreage land. Will be more consistent. All right, that seems like it's wide enough. So we're going to work our way around. You see that clay turning orange? You're gonna have to dig it out. That's the iron locked away in the soil. There's a lot of nutrients in clay. Just don't let people say that there's not. It's just locked up. And so when we amend it, we can, over time, our amendments will unlock those nutrients for the roots and feed the plant. See how the mulch has kind of darkened it already. It's kind of starting to break down on top of this clay already, and already amending it kind of. And that's just because this has been sitting on top of the soil. The soil here has been covered now since I think March is when we covered this. So just from having the soil covered, you can start improving your clay soils. So that's kind of the key to it. Improve your soils and your plants will thrive. I think we're planting deep enough. Just gonna get our hole cleaned out. Show you the next step. The root in there, cut that root out. Sever it. Any roots you come across. This oak tree doesn't have a lot of roots, luckily, so it hasn't been too hard to plant around it. Okay, that's our hole. Get started. Let's test it. See, make sure it's good. That's gonna work just fine. All right, now that we're in good shape with our hole, we're gonna remove this here. We're gonna remove the plant. We're going to bring our cotton burr in. And basically, you want to fill this hole up. The way I like to mix it, fill that hole with about half of this with your amendment, half your hole with amendment, and then just fill that. Now throw it all back in. Throw your clay back in. Break it up, smaller bits, and then turn it with your hands. You can turn it with a shovel, flip it over and over, whatever is easiest for you. I find that with my hands I can kind of break it up much finer than these larger clumps. The larger clumps, if you leave a lot of large clumps, it'll have air pockets at the bottom. So I try to make sure I try to keep it as fine as I can possibly. The soil to be under the roots. You see how dense? You can see how dense and hard that clay is. Just very, very hard. It'd be very hard for the roots, any roots, to really get through there. These ones that are in there are locked in there tough. So you must amend clay soil in order to plant shrubbery in it, or in order to plant anything. You want to amend it. It's much easier. There are plants that can thrive in clay soil, like iris bulbs and things like that. But for most of the plants, you're going to need to amend your soils. Just keep mixing until you basically have it all mixed together. And being that when you add your amendment, you're going to end up with a lot of extra soil. So not all of it will go back. So make sure you also have like a bucket or a container or something that you can put that soil back into. I normally just use the container the plant comes with. It's the easiest to grab at the time. So I forget to bring a bucket out. Do not put your mulch in the hole. As those things break down in the soil, it'll leach nitrogen from your roots. It'll compete with nitrogen. as it's decomposting. So you want to make sure that your mulch does not get back in the hole, just your soil. If a little bit gets in there, that's fine. You're just trying not to put the whole thing. Do not use your mulch. Do not use mulch for amendment, soil amendment, especially for clay. All right. So you see how that looks now? We're much more broken down, and I hope it comes in good on the camera. But you know, we don't have those big large clumps anymore that are hard. We've got this almost a powder consistency now because of we're just working in that cotton burr. And that's what you're looking for. The roots will be able to go through that very easily. Very easily. And it won't pack itself again like the way clay does. If you had just clay here, it would just continually pack and pack and pack. Where with the cotton burr, it will break up. And it won't repack itself. And allow the roots to spread. Okay, once it's mixed up, you can re-dig the hole back out and get ready to drop the plant, drop the shrub. Look how fantastic it looks now. That soil looks just amazing after amending it. Get our shrub out of here. It's beast. Ooh. Anything in the bucket can just fall right into the hole. Oh, wow. This one wasn't fully rooted in there. Oh, just a stubby. Stubby. Kind of spread this other soil around at the bottom. You want to make sure, like I said, when you go to plant this, the key is to mound this up to make sure that it doesn't retain water around these roots. Too much water will cause root rot, and that will the whole time you'll be thinking your plant is dying from not enough water, and the issue will be it has too much water on the roots. So to prevent that, you make sure you mound your plant up, which means this root ball, the top of this needs to be above your soil line. Okay, now that we got our plant in the hole, there's not a ton of roots on here. We're going to add our biotone. I'm going to let this fall over real quick. Going to add a little bit of biotone around the roots. This isn't a topical additive, this is a root additive. Most granular fertilizers are throw them on top, but the biotone starter fertilizer directly around the roots like this, and just down in it. And just about a half a cup is all you're really looking to put down there. I kind of didn't measure it because I've done this so many times now. I kind of eyeball it. But then you just backfill around. Just backfill it. I don't know if I talked about the pest resistance on this shrub, but it is deer resistant. It's pest resistant to pretty much everything that I've heard of. It doesn't really have any pest issues. So I figure it's a great choice here in our front yard space where it has to hold up against the deer. We have to plant things that are very deer hardy here. Gotta bring some of the soil out. Too much soil going back. Okay. Very good. Okay, and now that's basically it, and we're gonna water it in, and then we'll bring our mulch back over the top of it, and then we'll be done. Before I water it in, I do like to put an extra layer around the top side of these heavy clay areas. Just kind of an extra layer here on top, thin layer, to kind of let the water wash it in on this top section here. Just to make sure that, just kind of get a little extra amendment. You don't want to have to dig them up and amend them again. I have made that mistake. I didn't use enough amendment, or I didn't use any amendment, so I had to come back, dig the whole plant up before it died to amend the soil to make it happy. These are all mistakes that all beginner gardeners make. You shouldn't be afraid to make them. It's just learning in the process. Let me go turn the water on real quick. You want to make sure to water it in really well in order to get all the air pockets that could be underneath. I normally just drench the area really well, and then I don't water again for maybe a couple weeks unless it's really needing it. We're coming up on triple-digit weather this weekend. Starting I think tomorrow, we'll hit the 100-degree mark, maybe even today. So we will be keeping a lookout on it. It might not, it might need water by then, but I try not to water too much because I don't want to baby the plants. I want them to be able to make it in drought conditions. I want them to be strong plants. So you're not looking to water all the time, not every day after you plant, but you want to just water it really well. You see how slow everything's draining? And that's because it's a clay area. So it doesn't absorb the water, it just sits. And that's what drowns the roots out. And amending it will allow it to dry, that area to dry. Plus having it elevated lets the water fall off. As well as our whole front yard being on a slope the way it is, allows us to plant a lot of things in this clay soil that we normally couldn't because of the natural grade of the land. A little more water on it. All right, we bring our mulch back on top. A lot of times a lot of clay pieces will come out like little round balls. I just pick them up and toss them somewhere else. Now, all the extra dirt that comes out, I normally use that for fill spots around the yard. There's always a low spot forming somewhere. So I keep all my dirt. None of my organic matter leaves this place. And we will fertilize the shrubs. All of our shrubs get fertilized in late winter, early spring with one application of organic slow release fertilizer granular. And that's how we do it. All right, I can sculpt the mulch all day, but for the most part, that's it. We'll come back and we'll make sure we stake this one down. It's kind of an open area here. So that's it. That's how you plant a shrub in clay soil. We hope soon to take you on a tour for the rest of our front garden bed here as it's developing. And if you want to follow along, like, share, and subscribe, and keep up with the videos. See you later. Bye.